Hi, this is Keri Wilmot from ToyQueen.com. We're here at the Game Right booth for Toy Fair 2011, and last year we were here and we took some video of Rory Story Cubes at its original debut. But now, this year, we're bringing you something new because we have the inventor of Rory Story Cubes with us. So, hi Rory, it's nice to meet you.
You too.
So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story behind your story and about Rory Story Cubes?
Okay, well, Rory Story Cubes is a very simple storytelling game.
Yep.
It's got 9 cubes with 54 images. Every time you roll it, you get one of over 10 million possible combinations. And the goal is as simple and as hard as you have to tell a story that starts with once upon a time, and you somehow link together all 9 face-up images on the cubes. So there's no wrong answer. It's played by children, grandparents. They sit down together, spend quality time. They bring it when they're traveling.
Right.
The reason why we created the game is that for us, it's very important to promote creativity and creative thinking, and that's all about being able to make connections. So the story cubes, the way it works is that we can't help but when we look at one of these images, find some meaning in it. So when you say there's a story in there, our brain wants to solve it and figure out what that story is. So it's a very simple game. It's non-threatening, and again, you can play it in 60 seconds on your own. Or we hear families spending 2 hours together. They put away their electronic devices and they share stories together. They learn about each other because the story you tell will be different from the story that I tell.
Absolutely.
So the children will talk about what they're interested in or what's going on in their life, and the grandparents will tell. They might reminisce or tell about topics that are of interest to them.
I've had a lot of great success using the game over the years because I work over the last year because I work with children on their handwriting. So I've been able to use your concept, and we've been recording the stories, and it's been so exciting for me to see the kids kind of create the story and they write it down, and then they actually have something to keep with them to remember. And we've drawn pictures to go along with it, and it's really been a wonderful tool for children in their development.
You might like to hear then how we got to that point, because originally Rory Story Cubes was developed as a creative thinking and a creative problem-solving tool for the likes of organizational trainers, coaches, and that's our background, is in creative thinking and problem-solving. And one day my colleague's daughter came home and said, I use these in school, that I had to practice my handwriting, but she said it's so boring having to write that out. So she used the story cubes to come up with the story, and she brought it in and showed it to her teacher, and her teacher said, oh my god, this is brilliant. And she came back and told us, and we thought, there's something going on here that we haven't really been paying attention to. And the more we showed it to teachers and the more feedback we were getting from them, we realized that this was a tool that they were crying out for, because one said it's like a classroom in a pocket. She can always create a lesson with it. And others were saying it frees them up to use their creativity as well in the classroom. And again, it helps the children, because I don't know if you ever encountered that blank page syndrome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with this, these act as like stepping stones to create the story.
Exactly. And I think that's what a lot of children need, is they, you have that moment of, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to say, but the pictures help them to kind of organize their thoughts. So.
And our view and our experience is that we are inherently creative. As human beings, we solve problems all the time, and we need creativity to do that. And sometimes we forget, or you might say we get a bit flabby, that we don't practice it. And so, just like you wouldn't get up and run a race if you hadn't been exercising, it's the same with this. We are creative, but we might have not been exercising our mind in that area. So the way the story cubes work is that they allow you to exercise your mind, and we say within 2 or 3 goes, that spark will have kicked in again, and you have that confidence. There's also, if you tell a story, so you roll the cubes and you make up stories starting with once upon a time, and that links them together. We do it with children and adults, where they'd tell one story, they'd roll them again, tell another story, and we'd say, do you reckon if I rolled it again, you'd come up with a story? And they say yes. And you go, oh, that's interesting, because there's over 10 million combinations in here. So does that mean you've got 10 million stories inside you? And you just see this kind of penny drop and go, oh right, yeah. And so for us, it's about realizing that it's not about getting the one thing right and perfect, but it's that being willing to take a risk and try and experiment and pick out the best bits. Because, that's what the great writers do.
Right. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today, and it was great to meet you. And this is Keri Wilmot from ToyQueen.com, showing you practical ways to play every day.